afternoon, Floss Tube. It's Lisa here from the Shady Tree Stitches, and thank you for joining me for my chat about my cross-stitching progress this week. It is currently Sunday the 11th of October, so we are well into the month of October, and I have been madly stitching. It's been quite a busy week stitching wise, and yet another way is a really different week. So that's what I'm going to share with you as we chat through my whips today. A very different video in that I only have whips and plans today to show you, and maybe I might put some Pat Blaine's fabric at the end because I did do a little bit of dyeing during the week. So yeah, no haul, no stitch email this week. Nothing came for me. That was a very uneventful week, but I guess that means there's probably parcels coming. I know there's definitely one coming next week. All right, so I have been busy stitching and I have done 5,940 stitches since you last saw me. That is pretty impressive. So why and what have I done those stitches on? Okay, well, the first thing I was working on last week, when you last saw me, I'm pretty sure was Once Upon a Fairy Tale. Put the picture here, everyone knows it. Beautiful Haid with Amy Stewart's picture. And I worked on my Once Upon a Fairy Tale because I was needing to finish a couple of prompts for it. Most likely something monthly, I would say. And yes, because I was working on a costume. Daily 30 is doing a really cool monthly where you're making Halloween costumes for people. So I made my friend Joni a fairy costume because Once Upon a Fairy Tale has wings. So here is another 450 stitches on Once Upon a Fairy Tale, and I basically did all this black up here. So it's progressing. So I'm going to continue going across, and I'm sort of decided I'll do this one more a full cover scaffold if I can going across. So yeah, so I ended up doing 1,000 stitches on that one, but 450 more for Joni's prompt. The next thing I was working on last Sunday was my Surfside Village, which I was working on. Where is it? Oh, hiding down here. Okay, that's this little one, little country cottage needleworks. Tiny little one there. And my Surfside cottage I was using for the weekly homework for Daily 30, where I had to do different coloured prompts. So my Surfside cottage, since I saw you, got 694 stitches on it. And you can see all those different colours that are there. The white, the cream, the greys, and the blue. So they all turned into different flavoured what is it called, pumpkin seeds for the Daily 30. So yeah, it's progressing quite nicely. Definitely will be able to get this one finish that stitch December later on in the year. Okay, the next one I worked on was my Nativity. And my Nativity is this little one, which is another country cottage needleworks nativity scene. And my Nativity I did 802 stitches on. And he looks like that. So I have to do 1,000 on it because I'm doing it as something religious for a semi-sane event. But I got all those 3 wise men not quite done. They're ghostish wise men at the moment. They have no faces. So yeah, I got all them done for that. And I forgot that my fairy tale was something to do with Middle East. That's why I was aiming for 1,000 on that. So that's my Nativity there. It was also something that I would have judged by the fairies. So that got all those stitches done on that one. Now then I had a day this week, shock horror, where I did not stitch. It was yet another one of the days where I had to do something with my kids that involved the whole day and a lot of travel, and so I was on the road driving for about 7 hours of the day and doing what we need to do for about another 5. So by the time I got home, I did not feel like stitching anything. So I think it's seriously only the 3rd day this year that I have not actually stitched. So I'm really pleased with achieving that goal, that personal goal I set for myself to try and stitch every day. Yeah, really pleased with how that's going. The next one that I worked on was my Christmas house, and I'll put a picture here of my Christmas house. My Christmas house is an artsy design and it's beautiful, and I had to work on this one for that's confusing me. Oh, a whip I can get stuck in. So there's my whip that I could get stuck in. You could get stuck into the house, and I've done all that white. It was very hard starting in the middle. And this is one of those beautiful pieces of grid fabric that I can actually see the grid perfectly fine in this light, but I unfortunately made the mistake of washing it, so the grid went really faint and I can't really use it successfully as grid. So that Christmas house had 326 stitches done on it, so that it was one that I could get stuck in. Okay, so yeah, that's another 2 full coverages this week, so it's good. I'm enjoying them, and I just want to do them all a different way so I can work out what do I actually like to do. Now the next one that I worked on was Silver Creek Samplers Sing-a-Song Sampler, Do Re Mi, and I started this last section Do and Re, and I have worked on it all in one colour. I was trying to make it quick and do some quick stitching on it. So Do Re Mi, I've done 613 stitches on it so far, and it's in my plans to continue this week. So soon we'll have a finish on that. Again, if it's not finished with what I'm doing today, it'll get finished in that stitch December as well. Now, then had a really busy time. Crystal Academy had their first spell scrimmage, and what that is a battle where we had to stitch 200 stitch increments to do battle with another team. So I was battling against the Night Crawlers, which one of my friends was in, which was really cool. And we were battling for, well, it goes for 48 hours, it's still going, but fortunately my team, the Rougarou, worked very hard, and we managed to win the round within 24 hours, less than 24 hours. A couple of teething problems with the way that the event was actually happening, but as far as our team went, it was really good. I woke up to the overseas people in my team having done heaps of stitches, and then when they got to bed, I kept doing heaps of stitches. So I actually did yesterday, for that particular event, 2,310 stitches. And what I thought I'd do is work on things that were particularly easy to do, boring to normally stitch, and lots of block colours. It's the smartest way to get lots of stitches. So the first one I did was Spooky Hollow, Tiny Modernist, and so when you last saw it, I had one of these green outlines, so I had to fill in all the green here, and then I stitched all that green and black there. Now this shows you the difference between CXC and DMC, because the tree, the black is DMC. Look at the difference in colour from me going up and down sideways. It's very interesting. And the CXC is very thick colour. But when it's up on the wall, it'll be fine and we won't really notice. Yep, there, that is very different, the way the thread direction goes there. So that one there I did 505 stitches in. And then the other one that I worked on, because I was keeping the idea of Dark October stitching, was A Very Scary Halloween by Twin Peak Primitives. So this is a little series of 3, and this one I nearly had a section finish on. So it's there, and you can see that I've just got a little bit of that bottom border done, and I've just got to do the back stitch. So I did 823 stitches on this one for the Scary Halloween. So they were working on costumes for projects. So I did do Spooky Hollow, made Laurel a ghost costume, and Scary Halloween I made a witch for Martha because she made me a costume. So I was working on those two during this spell scrimmage. And I forgot to say, I'm an absolute idiot, but my do-re-mi, I've unwound it. When I started working on it, I realised that I am a total idiot. And I don't know if you recall last week I was having a problem, at least in the homework video, with finding a teacup. Hello? Tea? A drink with jam and bread. Teacup with tea in it. But that's worked out really well for this week's work, which is why it's part of this week's plan, because I have to stitch something with a drink for another group. So it's like, yep, I know where I have a drink. I have a drink in that piece there. Okay, the other things I did to get some quick stitching, and I very excitedly finished the ultimate level of my scavenger hunt by doing these, was my Alice by Mirabilia. So I worked on Alice just by doing work on this top part of the curtain. Really pleased to finally get to the beautiful threads. So hold on, let me turn my page back. I can see my stitches. Okay, so I actually did 927 stitches in that little corner on Alice. And that was my piece that I used as a girl with a pretty dress, a princess dress. And then I did it basically because it was filling in lots of stitching, so I was glad I prepared that earlier. And the last piece I worked on, I pulled out my good old trusty Paddock Lane Designs Lest We Forget, and this piece is great for when you need to do big blocks of colour, because this is where I'm up to. I don't think you've seen the whole thing for a while. So this is where I'm up to. Lest we faux, half the words, and look, the man has got half his body now, and all I did, seriously, was do the colouring in on his body. So that was really, really, really easy to do, except that it's on 40 count and I was doing it late at night. So my Lest We Forget, I did 800 stitches on that one, so that was really cool. Anyway, that was all my stitching. So mission accomplished, 2 missions accomplished yesterday, and now I get to move on to the supreme level in scavenger hunt, which means I have to do 300 stitches on each project. But that's okay, I'll get back to that. I'll get a fair bit of that done. Sorry, dog's coming. Bit of that done in the next week or so when I'm working on my Animal Kingdom, because that's my monthly project for magical stitches. So my plans are, as always, just to do things that fit in with homework. I'm going to try and see this week what the prompts are, see what I need to pick, and I will probably be working on some of my older pieces again. Yeah, so thank you for joining me, and I will go and show you. No, I won't go and show you, it's all right, you can look later. But I did do some more dyeing of some beautiful fabrics from Paddock Lane Designs, so I will have them available. My plan with that is to actually launch them first in my Facebook group for my members. So it's just Paddock Lane Designs, the group on Facebook. You can request to join that if you're interested. And in the albums there, I'll launch every time I put new fabrics up. And after that, after about a week or so of being there, I will pop them on the Etsy shop for the general public to look at. So if you're interested in them, then please feel free to check them out. I also have got a photographer who has very kindly made an arrangement with me for me to chart her beautiful landscape photos. So I will get some of those charted this week, and there will be some full coverage designs available as well. Anyway, until I see you, which will actually be tomorrow homework video, I will, or next week for progress. Happy stitching, keep enjoying it, and keep safe. Bye.